here now?
I'm here at City Hall, Anita, where, we've got some wrangling and some debating and some arm twisting and some speechifying going on as alders are introducing their official alternative budget proposal, which has been tweaked and tweaked and tweaked. They're saying there's no garbage collection fee now. There's going to be no hike in the congestion tax. And the only thing really, they're going to do more efficiencies, more cuts, and no corporate head tax. That's their big thing. And so there's debate happening right now on that.
Okay, so the alternative proposal is what you just laid out, or is that now the compromise? Because I heard two things in there that have really been points of contention. One, the garbage fee that those 27 alders wanted in the alternative proposal, but then that corporate head tax, if it's gone, that was the big sticking point for the mayor.
Yeah, that's a big sticking point, and the mayor doesn't, he doesn't want to move off of that. And alders are saying here, like, we've found a way to make up all this money without doing a corporate head tax. And I don't think it's going to move the mayor. He, for political reasons, he and the Chicago Teachers Union have talked about they want to have billionaires and corporations pay more to fund their agenda. And so that's going to be, a major sticking point with him. And so how this may go down is, if they get more and more alders to this alternative budget, they might have a veto-proof majority. But the only thing that's been decided so far is they're going to have more meetings. Now they've decided they're going to meet on Saturday, potentially. I would assume they'll get that wrapped up before the Bears game. But I don't remember the last time they've done a full city council meeting on a weekend.
Yeah, and then just by chance, do you know how many alders actually came out? Because I was seeing online some discussion about the fact that when they started yesterday's meeting, they didn't even have a quorum.
Right, they didn't have a quorum, so they had to end the meeting. Today they had a brief meeting, but they ended when they realized there was nothing they were going to vote on. And now there's a finance committee meeting, and that's where this alternative budget is being introduced and debated and potentially voted on. And that's what we're all kind of waiting to see.
Yeah. One of the things that the mayor brought up in his press conference yesterday was that if you go line by line through what was the alternative budget, at least at this point yesterday, that it still left like a $70 million budget gap when they're looking at 1.1, that to close the 1.1 billion at this point, to get it down to 70 million. But he was saying that's not enough.
Yeah, he's saying their math doesn't really work out. They're making some assumptions in terms of how much revenue the city is expected to take in. And the budget director yesterday basically said, they're not coming here with a balanced budget because their assumptions are off. Now they're defending their proposal, saying, no, our assumptions are right on. We've had business leaders vet this. And so, the devil's in the details. We haven't seen a lot of the deep specifics here to make a case one way or the other whether this math adds up. But, they claim that it does. They claim that they can cut their way out of some of this shortfall, and that they say that, 85% of what the mayor wants in terms of taxes is still going to be in here in those alternative proposals. So they're kind of up in the ante saying, look, Mayor, negotiation is a negotiation. And when you're going to get most of what you want, how could you not take that deal?
Yeah, and of course his thought process, or at least what he has spoken out on, is that he feels like he's protecting working people while they're protecting corporate businesses. But of course, as what we've seen even in this property tax, saga over the last couple of weeks, 6 weeks, if you really want to be specific, has been that if the corporate element of our city is not doing well, it does get transferred onto the working people.
Yeah, well, basically, I got Alderman David Moore here, 17th Ward. David Moore, there he is. We're ChicagoLIVE right now.
Hey, Paris, can you turn on your Paris?
What do you think of this?
Paris, can you turn on your camera? I know Alderman Moore is there with you. We'd like to see him.
We've got Alderman Moore. Yeah, Alderman Moore behind me here. What do you think of this alternative proposal?
You know what? I appreciate my colleagues for presenting presenting something, but we have to digest it. I don't think it's something we can just immediately pass. We have to digest it, look at it, and have conversations with the budget director and the CFO around it. So until that happens, I can't just up and pass anything. It could be something I could possibly get behind, but I have to do my due diligence for my constituents.
All right, thanks, Alderman. So Alderman, you hear Alderman Moore there. He's kind of on the fence in terms of which way he's going to go. And so that's where we're at right now. It's like, and I think there's going to be a lot of alders that are kind of wait and see which way is the wind blowing here, who's got the momentum, and you might see some of them break one way or another.
Yeah, that'll be really interesting to see. If you can, two things. I was trying to get you to turn on your camera so that we could see you all, and then
is my camera off?
It's not on.
Oh, okay. Sorry that you can't.
It's
see
okay.
me.
We can hear you, but we'd love to see you as well.
Yeah, I'd love. All right, let's see how do we fix that here? How about now?
Okay, there we are. Everyone, this is Paris Schutz.
I don't know what's going on there.
Paris Schutz, thank you. We love to see you here on Chicago Live.
Camera work here and get you to see Alderman Moore here, but to no avail. But you heard him, and so basically what he was saying is, a lot of folks on the fence here. Let's wait and see. Let's see what this alternative proposal is really made of. And maybe more folks jump on board with it.
Yeah, you mentioned a term, veto-proof majority, that I think maybe we could take a moment and explain to people.
So if the mayor, obviously just like in Congress, just like, back in Schoolhouse Rock days, how does a bill get passed? Well, it has a majority. But if the executive branch, in this case the mayor, vetoes the bill, then it has to go back, and if city council has 34 votes would be 2/3 majority, then it passes the veto. It makes the veto proof, so they override the veto. So same thing as in the national government, the federal government. So that's what some alders are banking on here. Maybe if we get 34 on our side, it doesn't matter what the mayor says. We can override his veto.
Yeah, and they had 27, it seemed like, as we started the week. But the mayor also talked about the fact that he called all 50. Now, I don't know if all 50 picked up the phone, but he said he called all 50 alders over the weekend.
Yeah, and that's some mayoral lobbying there, and but what's going on behind the scenes is there's a lot of money being spent by outside groups here to influence this budget. So you've got the business groups that are spending lots of money. Obviously, they don't want that corporate head tax. They think it's going to hurt the economy of the city, and the city's economy needs to get rolling here, especially given the fiscal problems. But then on the other side, you've got the Chicago Teachers Union saying, hey, we got to stick it to the billionaires, and we got to spend more money on the priorities that the mayor has campaigned on. And those two groups are kind of spending money against each other here. So that's kind of the game behind the game, if you will. And then all of this would bleed into the next mayoral election and aldermanic election, where both those groups, I would assume, are going to go toe-to-toe trying to get people elected.
Yeah, and all of this factors into it. I mean, we saw the same thing with the federal government and how people, tried to kind of weigh how much of that would spill over into the midterms for 2026. I think when we look at this, there are some, I was seeing online, who are interested in possibly making this shutdown go into effect because it then looks bad on the mayor. And so if you're looking for something that would then sit squarely on him, they feel like, go ahead, shut it down and get him out.
Well, alders have said, and Alderwoman Nicole Lee of the alternative proposal yesterday said no alderman wants a shutdown. I mean, I think you're right. The mayor would wear the hat for it, and the polling suggests that. Usually in a government shutdown, it's the executive that has responsibility. But when you think of the disruption to the city and the fact that it's never been done and nobody really knows who would get paid, who wouldn't get paid, what services might stop, or if you're asking workers to come into work without a paycheck, there might be a sick out and streets don't get plowed, permits don't get let out. I mean, that could be a disaster. I don't think anyone wants to see that. And frankly, that would be, whatever the polling indicates, it's everybody's responsibility if this thing shuts down. They have one job, really. That's to fund the government and to pass a budget and to keep services running and to keep business going. And so everybody's responsible if they don't do that. And so, I mean, I think as a journalist, we wouldn't let anybody be off the hook in terms of not coming to an agreement. Everyone would have to wear that hat. No one wants to see that. I think that would be a disastrous situation for the city because there's no legal precedent here that says, okay, this is exactly what happens in the shutdown. Could we pass standalone spending bills? Maybe they could. But are you going to ask police and fire to come in and say, well, you'll get a paycheck once the government opens again? Then they'll call out sick. So I don't think anyone, in the dead of winter, I don't think anyone should minimize what a disaster that'll be. So I would assume that that's going to be enough of a stick approach here to get people to the table and to agree on something. And if that something is, they get a veto-proof majority, the mayor never has to drop his stance that, hey, I think corporations should pay more. I mean, he is a democratic socialist. He comes out of the CT. That's a core part of their philosophy. It would be understandable that the mayor wouldn't want to budge from that. And so if they get a veto-proof majority, that's the way that they pass a budget and the mayor doesn't have to budge from his position.
Well, it'll be very interesting to see what happens again now that they have added Saturday onto their schedule as well. The one thing, at least
when are they going to Christmas shop?
Hey, at the very least,
when are any of us
regardless
gonna
of
do
what
that?
happens, we'll know that they have been working diligently to try to make something happen. That counts for something.
Yeah, absolutely. And that they want to be seen as, hey, we're not just letting the clock tick. We're trying to get something done. So it changes by the hour. And even just now, we had an older person and a mayoral staffer go into the cloakroom, close the door, and have a little private one-on-one. So this is when it's fun. This is when the things, the ground is moving under your feet, and we might have news later today, and then again, we might not.
Okay. Well, we'll certainly be looking for more updates from you as the day goes on. Paris, thank you so much for joining us.
All right, you got it, Anita. Have a good one.
Okay, you too. All right.